This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our Standing Watch program. It has been prophesied in the Bible that the UK is going to fall. The downfall of the UK is certain and inevitable. And there are many indications that that downfall has already begun. We are reading the following in Deutsche Welle, an article which was published on June 12. London formally ruled out asking for an extension that would allow its representatives more time to reach a permanent deal with the EU on their post-Brexit relationship. And the EU responded and said that they are looking at this as a definite situation. They are not going to push for an extension either. On Monday, June 15, 2020, it says both sides signed and issued a joint statement saying the transition period will therefore end on December 31, 2020. Now, why is that important? Because it looks like that there will be no deal, no agreement between the EU and the UK. The Guardian wrote on June 17 that Germany is urging the EU to draw up contingency plans for a Brexit no deal. The German government document dated June 15 reads, Britain is already escalating threats in Brussels, wants to settle as much as possible in the shortest possible time, and hopes to achieve last-minute success in the negotiations. It is therefore important, the paper said, to preserve the unity of the 27 member states and to make it clear that there will be no agreement at any price. But Britons are looking to Germany for help. Politico wrote on June 16 that Brexiteers have long argued Germans would get them a trade deal. Negotiations are headed for a showdown in the fall, after an EU-UK leaders' conference ended Monday with little more than promises to intensify negotiations. Germany is taking over the 6-month presidency of the Council of the EU on July 1, and as I said, this may mean that the Brexiteers are hopeful that an agreement can be reached. However, the article goes on to say, in London, hopes of a German intervention are based not only on Chancellor Angela Merkel's reputation for pragmatic deal-making, but also a belief that Berlin wants to avoid a no-deal scenario. However, all previous attempts by Brexiteers to frame Germany as the EU's Achilles heel have been refuted, both by the country's politicians and its industry lobbies. Even the German car sector and other export-oriented businesses have argued that although a no-deal scenario will hurt them, but it will hurt Britain much more, unraveling the single market by agreeing to a too generous deal would even be riskier. And then the article goes on to say, inside the UK government itself, the Merkel factor is taken seriously. However, long experience has taught the Brits that there is only so much diplomacy of a national leader can achieve on Brexit. Now, I found this statement rather remarkable. There is only so much that another non-British leader can achieve, because there's a prophecy. There's a prophecy in the book of Hosea, which says that England will try to get help from Germany, but it won't be able to get it. Are we seeing the beginning of the fulfillment of that prophecy right now? In this regard, I'd like to offer you 2 free booklets, which go into these scriptures I have been alluding to, and others I will be alluding to in a moment. The one is Europe in Prophecy. Europe in Prophecy. And the other one, The Fall and Rise of Britain and America. And these two booklets explain to you from the Bible what is going to happen and where you can find those scriptures. But right now I'd like to talk about another article, which was published by a highly prestigious British paper, the Daily Mail. And they quoted from an article by Peter Hitchens. And Peter Hitchens is a very well-known journalist, very well respected in Britain. And this article was published June 14, and it talks about the situation in Britain the way Mr. Hitchens sees it. He is writing this: "What we now face is regime change. That is why these strange crowds have begun to gather around ancient and forgotten monuments, demanding their removal and destruction. This is why the memorial to Winston Churchill was shamefully boarded up. This time as ignorant army seeks the final abolition of Britain. It is very frightening. Now we have the dictatorship of fear. I am fairly sure these measures," he's talking about measures to fight the coronavirus, "accustom us to being told what to do. Not only can the government now tell us where we must live and when or if we can go out, it can now even tell us what to wear. Formerly great institutions and forces, the church, parliament, the police, the armed services, much of Fleet Street, the universities, submitted to it without so much as a sigh. So did what remained of our great industrial and commercial companies. Almost any spark could have ignited this rich mixture. As it happens, it was the death in Minneapolis, a city most British people will never even see, of George Floyd. Seeing the surging crowds, the rioting and the looting in the United States, the British radical left grew jealous. They imported the protest, converted it into outrage against some moldering statues, and set the streets alight. They have already helped to make it very hard for traditional, normal Christian conservative and patriotic opinions to be expressed at all. By using social media as a form of discipline, they have made everyone fear them." Now listen to this concluding statement, which has, as I will show you, some prophetic significance. "The past few weeks have also demonstrated that all the pillars of British freedom and civilization are hollow and rotten." Now the Bible says in the book of Hosea that Britain is sick. And it also says in the book of Isaiah, and I'm quoting, that their root will be as rottenness, because they have rejected the law of the Lord of hosts and despise the word of the Holy One of Israel. There is a connection here between the British downfall and, of course, the violation of God's law. Please stay tuned, because right now we have an announcement for you talking about the law of the Lord, which the British people, but not only the British people, are violating.
Since ancient times, God's 10 Commandments have been in force, as stated in Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5. "You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself any graven image. You shall not take God's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not lie. You shall not covet." What are the meanings of each of these commands, and are they still necessary for us to keep today? To request a free copy of this booklet, go to eternalgod.org. Standing Watch is a presentation by The Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.